Okay, so now after having such a wonderful discussion with Mukesh sir, we are not wasting time because everyone is now asking in the mindset of wonderful, unfiltered photography and photojournalism. So on this note, I am calling somebody who is very dear to me, very, very close to me, and we have been interacting for quite some years now after being in Mumbai. And every time I have asked for any support and help from sir, he has never ever denied me. But the most fascinating thing which I would love to say today is definitely his wonderful motivating messages to VIBGYOR. Every time we meet sir, every time he analyzes each and every fine, minute details that we are doing, and then he suggests me that you could have done this way and you could have done this way, it would be better. And the most valuable message which I have received in the recent days from him was after he received the calendar and he has sent me. And trust me, sir, I have sent that message to the entire team of VIBGYOR. I was so happy after seeing that image and after seeing the message, and it's so good to hear from him. So without any more delay, please welcome Mr. Krishna Madhavan Pillai on board. Please. So, I know there are a lot of people, those who are already aware about sir, but it's my greatest honor and pleasure that I take this opportunity to introduce him formally for the people who are watching this video. So, he is definitely a visionary editor, editorial curator. So, he's the silent visionary who weaves the individual frames into a cohesive, impactful narrative. Shri K. Pillai stands at the critical intersection where art meets editorial direction. As a visionary editorial curator, he understands the profound responsibility of placing a photograph in the public eye. He knows that a single image can start a revolution, change a perspective, or tell a story that words simply cannot convey. His expertise lies in recognizing the unseen potential of a raw frame and understanding the deep ethical implications of how the truth is presented to the world. He champions the integrity of the image, ensuring that the photographer's authentic voice is never lost in the noise of the modern media. Please, once again, with a great round of applause, the esteemed editorial curator, Shri Krishna Madhavan Pillai. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So, sir, once again, I'll start with your own expression and like your viewpoint on this journey of Unfiltered. We have started a month more back with Echoes and Realities. And even before that, while we were discussing about how we can do the framework of this project and engage people, so how was your experience in this entire journey with us and this wonderful session? I would love to hear from you.
So VIBGYOR primarily, has always been very active. That's the most enjoyable thing that I find about you. You push it, you ensure that people remain active, ensure that people respond, and I think that is the most wonderful thing about it. So at some level, even us as photographers, need a little bit of encouragement and pushing. You are there for us.
Thank you. No, sir, I feel every time I've seen, even for myself, especially when the corporates go to the daily work, daily job, there are a lot of pressures. Especially on today's day where every manager is trying to squeeze every penny they are spending on the employee, which is the lifestyle. So there, I have personally found that this is a great stress buster. People are spending money and they are going to life cycle change and the rehabs and a lot of other sessions and all. Even I was talking to a few of my colleagues where they have been trying to go for the Narmada Parikrama and all, which is definitely, there are a lot of learnings from it. But that will take your 3.5 months. That will take a lot of other arrangements, your own family commitments and all. This is something which is right in front of you. You have already invested in a camera, you have already given your your hard-earned money like as an investment to it, then why don't you utilize it? So I think I have personally felt that this push is very much required, and we have seen a lot of people have actually benefited from this. So I will give an example that any kind of art, it is not just photography. I am just pushing photography because that's my forte. A dancer who is a dance teacher, she is or he is pushing her dancing because that's her forte. And so we are associated with one of the events of a dance event, and we had a success party that happened. And so there are a few of the very eminent mentors. They also expressed that in life they had been a session, a series where they were totally depressed and they were demotivated and they were literally on their wheels. But then dance slowly got them back. That's the magic of, I think, art. That's the magic of art. So it will actually de-stress you to the level to give you a direction that out of the 100 things which you have prioritized, maybe only 5 is required to top. You can leave 95 of them. And I think that's what we were discussing with my colleague, that Narmada Parikrama is also saying the same thing. You might buy a very, very heavy, very good shoes, but then once you start walking, when you will feel it's a baggage to you, you will start losing it. So I think photography is a wonderful thing. Even fine art, I also do a lot of fine art, even dancing, even recitation. But if you are good in any kind of hobby that you have, maybe in my school days there were like slam books. We used to write slam books that what is your hobby? So we used to write listening to music, painting, photography. So every friend has written that, but I don't know how many of my batchmates are actually doing that today. So I always try to push them. There are a few of my batchmates out here in Mumbai as well. I push them. There are a few in Bangalore. I share these videos and all to them, and they're like, I do your time can't that. See, that's the most valuable thing. 24 hours is for you. It's also to a beggar. It's also to the most richest person in this world. So you have to find the time out where you can relax. You have to keep the balance. Nobody is going to give you any formula for that. Your family is important. Your work life is important. You yourself, your health, both your mental and physical, is important, and that's where this lies important. So I sometimes feel very good when someone comes back and Sunday morning well spent, Saturday evening well spent, such a good session. So I think even after seeing this video, all the expert talks and all, I think the mindset will also have a direction. So for that, once again, sir, I appreciate your presence here today to ensure that the session goes good. So before we start with some questions, I think you have something to showcase. You can start with. So
we'll do it after the session.
We'll do after the session, fine.
But I just want to add to what you said. So some of us, we are very fortunate that we can make our interest into a profession. And it doesn't matter what profession you are into, but as long as your interest becomes a profession, we have a lot of joyous moments in that. The thing is that any profession, it has its own arguments. You will have a fight with your family, you will have arguments with yourself, you will always wonder about financial stability or not. But when you make your interest your profession, okay, it's not that those arguments disappear, they are there, but at least you are doing something in the direction of interest. And I think after, spending a considerable amount of time in this field, I understood that it doesn't matter what a profession is, if you are consistent enough. You will eventually get to a point where you are financially stable, where things work out and the answers get answered, the questions get answered. So I think, especially the next generation of children need to be told to move in the direction of their interest. I think that is a very, very critical thing for them, and I think it's very important. And it only happened as a chance in a certain sense for me, that I would have gone into marketing or sales or this or that. It just happened by chance that I moved in the direction away with my interest. So I can now say with a certain amount of authority that, kids today need to also move in the direction of their interest, especially in today's world of AI and things are very, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Okay, so move in the direction of your interest, what will I interest maybe?
That's really something very interesting. So we'll first have a word on the curatorial line and the X factor, which is something which always charms me. And so during your tenure as the helm of the better photography, You have evaluated and curated the work of, I think, countless aspiring and established photojournalists. So, from a chief editor's perspective, when you are looking at a stack of technically flawless image, so what is the exclusive X factor that elevates a photograph from merely a good picture to a profound piece of photojournalism?
Okay, so let me make I haven't read the document yet.
No,
So I'm going to answer externally.
yeah, absolutely, please.
Let me just say that it is so, whenever you see a bunch of wonderful, great, which technically perfect pictures, okay, then I start looking for that one elusive change in direction. There was a term that was coined by Dorothy Land, which was point of departure. Okay, it was called point of departure. I mean, it was not coined by her, but she used it from the perspective of photography. Okay, where does the image, okay, a technically perfect image, where does it move beyond the expected? Okay, because when you have something that is technically perfect, everything is expected, everything is where it's supposed to be. Okay, then where is that one thing that makes a difference? Okay, that was a common thing. You have too much of technical perfection is going. And that's true.
Okay.
At the same time, you have things that are completely not technically perfect at all, that's also very bad.
Right.
So technical perfection is very elusive at the same time. It is very difficult to be technically perfect in every sense. To find a technically perfect essay, for example, is very tough, it's very difficult. So when I see it, it's actually amazing. Okay, but within that, also you try to look for something that is elusive, which is different from the usual.
Sir, on this note, I remember something again from my learning days. So we used to have guest faculties who used to come and showcase their work, and we used to analyze their photographs, and we used to talk about the techniques and the technicalities and definitely the composition aspects of their photographs. So there we had one session where one photographer came and he told that you should never ever go beyond ISO 400 because images go noisy and grainy and all. And exactly the next week there was another photojournalist who came. Let's not name him. He's pretty renowned and he's very like happy going guy. So he came and he was like, hey, this image is, and then everyone pointed to sir, this image is like looking very grainy and noisy. So the point is, what is the ISO that you have to use? So you're like, first understand your motive. So if you are going to go and take a fashion shoot for a cover magazine, definitely a single noise is not allowed. If you are going for a product shoot, a single noise is not good. I'm a photojournalist, so for me, I have to showcase the truth at any cost. That's my job. At that point of time, I cannot go and start checking the exposure triangle and all, and the light is already less. For me, capturing that is important and showcasing that is important. So the priorities have changed, but the motive has changed. The photographer's motive that I am not shooting the what do you call something which is staged or it is arranged for me and I have time and the leisure, and so by the time I will start scrolling or changing things, that moment will go. So then everyone was bit as usual. We were at the learning stage at that point of time. And then sir, you have to see first and foremost thing you have to understand. You can break the rules only once you know it. So you are at that stage where you are learning. So you first have to learn the basics. You have to learn, and then you will be matured enough to understand where to break, how much to break, and you can justify your image that way. I think that's what is very important, and I tell everyone that I find a lot of people with their cameras bought, they are on the field, they are shooting, but when you talk about something about the technicalities, when they are good in understanding the frames by seeing others and all, they lag a lot. So I think that gap has to be filled because that is very, very good as a foundation of photography. I think that is where he can take that leap of what is the exact term you know?
Point of departure.
Point of departure. This is something very interesting I have learned today. So that I think that is very important to understand the point of departure so that they
I think, you know, when you actually talk about something like perfection, it is the use of, especially in photojournalism, you look for, I mean, you don't really look for perfection. Okay, you look for a connection.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I think the word perfection is a misnomer. You know, you want the picture to be able to connect to the audience. You know, as an editor, you really want the image to speak to your audience. That is more important than anything else.
Right. Good. So next let's go on to the topic of something on the visual literacy and the modern audience. So over the decades, you have closely monitored how the Indian audience consumes imagery, from eagerly reading high quality print magazines to scrolling through the hundred of images in a minute on social media. So do you feel this hyper consumption has genuinely improved our or the viewers' visual literacy, or has the audience got less patient with the complex, layered documentary narratives?
I think that by and large, the audience has become a little less patient. And it's a complex question. I think eventually there is an evolution that is happening. And the evolution sort of, for example, social media. Okay, now the algorithms work in social media is